Hello, my name's Nikki, and in 7 weeks' time I will be leaving Australia, going to New Zealand with my friend Judy, and we are going to start the Te Aurora Walk on the 30th of September. The Te Aurora Walk is a 3,000 kilometre walk from the north of the North Island, starting at Cape Reinga, and travels all the way through the North Island and all the way through the South Island until you get to Bluff, at the bottom of the South Island. Being an older hiker, it's been really important to try and reduce pack weight, because we can't walk with the heavy packs that we used to. So we're trying to reduce our base weight as much as possible, which has been an expensive exercise, but very worthwhile. Judy and I recently did a 5-day walk in Kalula, and we actually learnt a lot about our packs and our gear. And as I go through this video, I'm actually going to show you the gear that I'm not going to be taking to New Zealand, my reasons why, and then I'll do a second video to show you the gear I've replaced it with. And at the end of this video, I'm going to weigh my pack and let you know what my base weight is. I do have a few items that not everyone would agree with, but there's a real fine line between having a lightweight pack and also comfort. And again, sleep is so important and rest is so important. So my sleeping setup is quite heavy. But again, I'll explain that when we get to it. Also, the way I pack my food is probably a bit different, but again, I'll explain that. And I've had to address some of my food issues because I've always wanted to have a variety of food when I go walking, but I've realized that the weight of the food, it's really important to keep it down. I've got a tickle in my throat, so okay, first things first, my pack. My pack is a Z-Pack 62 litre, and it weighs 700 grams. Now this pack has been extraordinary because when I first got it, I looked at these flimsy straps and I thought they are going to be really uncomfortable. But I have to say they're actually the most comfortable shoulder strap I've ever worn. I love this pack, it's brilliant. I did buy additional pockets for the shoulder straps and also a pocket on each side on my belt. Okay, tent. Again, it's a Z-Pack, duplex. 2-man tent. I got 2-man tent because I like to have lots of space and have everything in the tent with me rather than outside the tent. I also got ground sheet cover, which was brilliant because it's very light and it's much easier to clean that than the bottom of your tent. Stakes. I got the Z-Pack stakes, but they bend quite easily. So I've got 8 of those, and then I've got an additional 4 more heavy duty stake pegs. So instead of only being 90 grams, now my pegs weigh 160 grams. Now, because I'm taking the duplex, Z-Pack duplex tent, I've also got the poles, which I, again, really love, and they do an incredible job, not only with walking, but also with putting up the tent. Very happy with those. Now, sleeping arrangement. Because rest, I feel, is so important, I have got this big Agnes mat, and I love it. It's really well insulated. It is so comfortable, but it is heavy. It's like 709 grams, but I think that's weight worthwhile, so that I get a good rest and a good sleep. Now, sleeping. When I went to Kalula, I got cold, so I've realized that I can't take what I thought I could. So I was sleeping in a sleeping bag liner, which is 320 grams. And then I had a cedar summit quilt, which was 540 grams. But I got really cold, so I'll be swapping those out. They're gone. Cedar Summit pillow, which is a large, and again, that's for comfort. So taking that with me. Now, with the sleeping arrangement, what I've done is I've actually ordered a Z-Pack mummy sleeping bag, which I'm sure is going to keep me really, really warm, even in New Zealand. It's got the hood, and I can unzip it so that it is a bit more like a quilt on those warmer nights. Because I don't like being restricted in a sleeping bag, really, but I'd rather be slightly restricted in a sleeping bag and not cold than cold. So that's the trade-off. Now, clothing. I'm not including the clothing that I wear, so this is just my additional clothing. I have a sun hoodie, which is brilliant. It certainly protects you from the sun, but it doesn't breathe very much. So I'm probably going to have to get a Legionnaire's cap, because if it's really hot, I'm not going to be able to wear this. So I'll wear the Legionnaire's cap and protect my face more, and then I'll have to just wear sunscreen on my arms. But this will be very good when it's windy, if it's cold. So I love it, and I am taking it. Definitely going to use that. I have a Uniqlo waistcoat, waist jacket. It's very light, very warm. Definitely taking that with me, and that's what I will sleep in. Now, this thermal that I took with me to Kalula, it's 210 grams, and I didn't particularly enjoy wearing it. It felt a bit itchy, so I'm actually not going to take that to New Zealand. That goes too. What I have discovered is that this thermal, which is a Kui, this is 160 grams, but it's really soft on the inside. So I found that I could sleep in that very easily, and it has the hood if you get cold. So I'm actually going to take that, just that thermal, with me when I go to New Zealand. These are merino leggings, which I wear at night to keep warm. Rain jacket. This is actually from a company in Ireland. It's called PhD, and it's extremely lightweight. Extremely lightweight and waterproof, so that's definitely coming with me to New Zealand. I also have a bandana which I can wear at night for warmth, instead of a woolen cap or beanie, and I've got the long sleeved gloves to keep my hands warm if need be. I also have a pair of Nike shorts, which I can wear at night or on the hotter days during the day. And I will have, as well as the socks I'm wearing, a spare pair of Injinji liners and a thick pair of socks. And that's it for clothing for the North Island. Now, when I go to the South Island, because it may be cooler, I'm probably quite likely to take this. This is an Enlightened Equipment Torrid women's jacket, and it is brilliant, but it's actually almost too warm, and I think that that's why I'm not taking it to the North Island, but I'm probably going to use it for the South Island, but I'll keep you posted. Now, cooking and water setup. I got this 4-litre Cedar Summit water container. And in theory, it sounds great, because you can have, fill it with your 4 litres, put your 4 aquatabs in it, purify the water, and then use it for cooking, and then fill up your water bottles for the next day's walk. But it's awkward with this lid, and it's a little bit heavy. So I'm actually going to swap that out with a different 2-litre Canuck bag. So I'll show you when I get that with my new pack. So this is also going out. Cooking, I've got the Toaks 750ml pot, which is perfect size, I think. And I've got, and it's really because you're just boiling water in it. And then I've got this tiny little Alf kit. My friend in Ireland actually gave me this. And it works really well. It's tiny. So that's my pot cooker, and in there I also have my lighter matches and aquatabs, and then I have my tiny weeny little Swiss Army knife, which has got a pair of scissors, a knife, tweezers, and a toothpick, 35 grams, so perfect, love it. And that's the only knife you're really ever going to need, because you just have to open your food, and scissors if you need to repair something. So that's my cooking. Now I have 2 spoons. You only really need a spoon, and then I've got my little knife, so I take my 2 spoons. Now again, this is something I took on Kahlua. I'm not going to take to New Zealand. I only used it once, and it's big, and I love the Trangia, but they're heavy, and then it's really not necessary to use it. I have a plastic container with a lid that I use to store my lunch in. I cook my noodles in it, or dry soak my noodles. So I can use that as a bowl, so I don't need that. So that's something else that's going. And then I have my plastic cup for my tea and my coffee, very important. Now, the way I store my food, and it's not conventional, is in this little kind of padded esky bag. And the reason why I like this is because you can actually get an awful lot of food in it, because you pack it in really tightly, and when it's full it's just a little brick. And at night, when I have it in the tent with me, I actually put it next to my head, and it's going to sound really daft, but I use it as like a little table. I put my watch, my phone, and my globe light on it. So I'm really happy with this. I don't know if I might change my mind, because I do have the Dyneema food bag, which I will also use for flow over food, particularly on the bigger sections where you need to take more food. But I just love this. I think it works really well for me, and you know, you have to do what makes you comfortable, and that's what makes me comfortable. I like that. Now, talking about my globe light, this is the light that I take with me, and I have it next to me. It has different colors, but I just use the white generally. And then at night time I put it there, because I am a little bit kind of scared of the dark, and I know that I'm going to get better at that, and there's nothing really that's going to happen. So maybe the South Island I won't need to take that, particularly because in the South Island we'll be staying more in huts, and I think I'm going to look so stupid if I keep bringing out this globe light. Now, toiletries. Now, arguably toiletries are consumables, but I am going to put them all in my pack and then tell you what my base weight is. I've got the little towel. I also take this J-cloth, although chucks in Australia, because it's really light, and I just get another one when I need it. I can wash myself with this. I like that. Now, the only things I take is sunscreen. This is the Cedar Summit, the flaked soap. I take bio oil as a moisturizer, because it goes further. Dental floss, tiny pot of Vaseline, toothbrush. No, I haven't cut it. Lightweight brush, hair toggle, and toothpaste, and that's it. No deodorant, no shampoo. We do go through towns, and we'll be staying at places where they provide shampoo, or maybe not, just soap, but I'm not going to carry shampoo and conditioner with me. Okay, now I have a first aid kit. Now this looks quite big, but it's actually got it's first aid and my repair. So it's got the normal bandage, Nurofen, Panadol, betadine, but I've also got super glue in there, and I've got some duct tape in there. I've got a sewing repair kit, but I am going to try and minimize that a bit, because it is a bit bulky, and I'm also going to change what I carry this in, but that'll be in my next round 2 of my gear review. I take a handkerchief, because you can wash it, and then you don't have to use tissues, which is great. I have camp shoes, because again I need to have that comfort, and I find that at the end of the day, these are Birkenstocks. That ridge there and I'm walking around, it actually helps the bottom of my feet, because I have noticed that the front of my feet, the ball of my feet, as I've got older, it gets quite tender. But I find that walking around at night and my foot pressing up against that ridge, it's actually really very soothing. So they're coming with me. I've got the Z-Pak seat pad, which is very good when you want to sit down and you don't want to get wet or dirty. Now, this is my shovel. So when you need to do your bush poo, you just dig a hole and do that. And that's my pea cloth. So again, you don't have to use tissues. Electronics. Oh God, electronics are heavy. I've got my night light in here, which is also quite heavy, and I may for the South Island swap it out, but I'm reluctant to do that now because this works. So I've got that. I've got the lead for charging up my 20,000 Nitecore battery pack, and I need the 20,000 because I'm doing the filming, and I want to be able to take a reasonable amount of footage while I'm doing the walk with Judy. And then this is the lead for my watch, and I also need to put in a lead for my mobile phone. And I am going to take my watch in the North Island, but possibly in the South Island I won't. Okay, I think that's it, apart from the bag that I put up across my chest, and this holds my mobile phone. It's actually an Osprey toiletry bag, but it works really well because it's got those straps at the back. And inside it I have a lightweight waterproof bag to put my phone in if it's really raining. And that is it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh my pack, including all of the gear that I am now going to throw out, so that I can come back and tell you what my base weight is. And then when I do the next round of gear prep for the Tia Aurora, we can compare the weights. Okay, so I'm going to do that now, and I'll get back to you shortly. Okay, so the base weight of my pack, with everything very roughly thrown into it, is 7.7 kilos. Now, for some that would be really heavy as a base weight, but because I'm not an ultralight jumper, I could never do that. It's too rough for me. I need more comfort than that. So anyway, but I admire people who can do it, but it's not for me. 7.7 kilos. I'm actually happy if I can keep my base weight somewhere between 7 and 8 kilos, because I figure then if you've got, say, 3 to 5 days worth of food and water, you've got room to play with. So, you know, you can go up to 14 kilos. Ideally, I'd like to walk with 14 kilos or less, but I do understand that particularly when you go through the longer stretches like the Richmond Ranges, we're going to have a lot more food, because that's 10 days worth potentially. It'll certainly take us 10 days because we do shorter distances. We can't run through it like some young people do. It's amazing, but we can't do that. So, and it's important to understand your limitations. So, okay, well, I'll get back to you when I get all my new gear, my new sleeping bag, my new sleeping system. I've also ordered a few lightweight bags to put things in. I'm going to have a look at my first aid kit. New Zealand, we don't have to take the snake bandage. Anyway, so I'll get back to you. Okay, thank you. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.